Hey everybody, welcome back. We last left off with running a circuit through Varrock to get some kudos and construction XP, and now we're going to start off by finishing a couple quests. First, grab your Silverlight, Ironman armor, Gnome Amulet, and Chronicle and wear those, and then pull out your Hammer, Steak, and Garlic for Vampire Slayer, as well as at least 8 wines and 6 cakes for food. And if imps have happened to drop cadaver berries by now and you bank them, bring them, otherwise we'll be able to get some in a bit. So now that you have your incantation and Silverlight, we're going to head toward the southern entrance of town. If you happen to have cadaver berries on you, stop at the apothecary's on the way, it's the little purple potion bottle on the map, to get the potion for Romeo and Juliet. Otherwise, continue southeast to the ruins with the Dark Wizards, and run to the dais in the middle to spawn Delrith. It'll enter an instance, which will take a couple times to run in and out of the instance, because these Dark Wizards will constantly try to aggro on you from range before the demon can hit you in melee. I myself have found success in trying to approach from either the southwest or southeast side, as there's less Dark Wizards in that area, but it'll still take a few times. Kill the demon, recite the proper incantation, and finish Demon Slayer, gaining 3 quest points, the Silverlight of course, and 5 kudos. You'll likely be attacked by a Dark Wizard as soon as you pop out of the instance, so immediately head west to the Champions Guild, and head inside to satisfy a Varrock medium diary task, as well as to talk to the Guildmaster to start Dragon Slayer. Then continue going west to the Agility shortcut, take it, and then head into the Draynor Manor. You could talk to Veronica right here to start Ernest the Chicken quest. It'll give you 4 quest points and 300 GP. But we will have to come back for the Animal Magnetism quest once we get 18 Slayer, and immediately before doing that, we can do Ernest the Chicken, and since we'll have higher agility level then, I think it just makes more sense. Go into the manor and head down into the basement on the east side. Open the coffin and fight Count Draynor to finish Vampire Slayer, getting 3 quest points and 4,825 attack experience, which is still level 44. Head upstairs, go into the east room, where you'll see a spade and a bronze med helm. Pick up the med helm for Black Knight's Fortress, and take the spade because now we're going to go to the north side of the manor where you'll see a grave, and we're going to dig up the skull from that grave for the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest later on. Now, head back south out of the manor and toward Draynor, but when you get to the sewers, you want to head down inside and kill a zombie for a Draynor Easy Diary task. Once you're done, go to the market and purchase at least 4 more Chronicle cards, as well as 20 potato seeds and 4 marigold seeds, and then fill your inventory with wines. At the bank, we're going to prepare to get all our dyes for future quests, so grab your coins, your 10 onions, 6 woad leaves, and 6 to 9 red berries, because it takes 3 per dye, so it depends on how many you have left over after making the pies for the Knight's Sword. And 1 piece of soft clay, which if you don't have, just combine some clay with a bucket or jug of water. Head north out of the bank to the house where you stole the cheese from for the Witch's House quest a long time ago. Then use your onions on Aggie to get 5 yellow dyes, use your woad leaves on her to get 3 blue dyes, and 2 to 3 red dyes depending on how many red berries you have left. Note that if you're short on red berries right now, there's 2 other spots that we can get them from, so it's alright if you're short. When done, head northeast to the agility icon on the map and run a lap of the Draynor rooftop course to satisfy an easy diary task. Then head northeast to Leela, who's by the wheat farm, and talk to her to continue Prince Ollie rescue. Then run inside the jail nearby and talk to Lady Kelly until she tells you she's famous, so she'll show you her key. Then make an imprint of it with your soft clay and head back to the bank. An optional detour that people could take here if they happen to have all 4 imp beads and would like to turn in the quest is you could grab all your beads in a pickaxe and then head south to the Wizard's Tower to do Imp Catcher, getting the quest point, 875 magic experience, and the Amulet of Accuracy, which gives the +4 attack bonuses. Then you could go down into the basement, visit Sedrador, fill your inventory with Rune Essence, and return to the bank to continue the rest of the route. However, I think the best time to do it, because the magic experience and amulet are nice, but not imperative, and they don't help us reach any specific requirement, is to wait until around step 500 or so, which is a long time. However, by then, we'll have purchased Cosmic Runes, so we can enchant our Jade Necklace into a Necklace of Passage, which will teleport us right to the Wizard's Tower. And now we have a whole laundry list of items to pull out for a couple quests and a couple diary tasks. Coins, Brawn Med Helm and Iron Chain Body, which you'll wear, cabbage, bread, a knife, 2 soft clay, your Barcrawl card, the Blurite bar, your hammer, the fly fishing rod, 10 feathers, a blue dye, and an orange dye, which is just combining a red and yellow, and at least 2 wines and 5 cakes. The food amount there is variable, you just need enough food to run past some Black Knights during the quest, and they can hit as much as a slice of cake can heal. Head out of Draynor toward Barbarian Village, and once you get there, go to the crafting building on the south side and create 2 unfired bowls. We're going to leave 1 unfired for the Dragon Slayer quest, but bake 1 of them for the Varrock Easy Diary task. Talk to Checkle to the north of the building to continue below Ice Mountain, and he'll send you into the long hall to the north to talk to Atlas. Talk to him, watch the cutscene, then pick up the cooked meat nearby, and use your knife on it to create a steak sandwich for below Ice Mountain. Then head east out of the long haul to the fly fishing spots to fish up a trout for another easy diary task. Then go back to Checkle, learn the Flex emote, then perform the emote. Head northwest out of Barbarian Village, make sure you're wearing your Iron Chain Body and Broad's Med Helm, then go into the Black Knight's Fortress and follow the quick guide or quest helper until you get to the end and drop the cabbage in the hole. After watching the cutscene, leave the fortress and head south to the Dwarven Mines entrance, where you'll go into the western building and talk to Nolodian to get his notes and the cannonball mold for the Dwarf Cannon quest. Head toward Falador, but instead of going inside the town, cut northwest to Doric, smith your blurite bar into blurite limbs on his anvil for the Falador easy diary task, then continue north into Goblin Village, climb up the ladder you see by the entrance, you'll see a crate there with some goblin armor, get it, and then apply your blue or orange dye to it, search the crate in the shack southwest of the large building for another goblin armor, apply your other dye to that, then go around the big building on the eastern side where you'll see a crate that you can search for the final goblin armor. Talk to the Goblin Generals to start and finish Goblin Diplomacy, going through all the cutscenes, and you'll get 5 quest points, 200 crafting experience, and a gold bar. Immediately talk to the Generals again to ask them about the Dorgeshuun tribe to learn the Goblin Bow and Salota modes for the Lost Tribe. Now head into Falador and go to the pub to talk to Burntoff to continue below Ice Mountain, and then the bartender to cross the bar off your Barcrawl card. Head south into the castle grounds, climb the western stairs to talk to Sarim McVars to complete Black Knight's Fortress, gaining 3 quest points and 2.5k, then immediately talk to him again to start Recruitment Drive. Leave the castle and head to the building southeast of the housing agency near the park. Talk to Amy to start a Mahogany Homes construction contract, then head east to the bank. If your client happens to be in Falador, the other 3 locations are Ardoin, Varrock, and Hasidius. You'll want to pull out your hammer, saw, a steel bar, and 13 regular planks. Head east to the cul-de-sac and find your client's house, repair their furniture for 500 construction XP, plus the XP you get from actually building the furniture, which comes out to 22.5 XP per plank used, 2 carpenter points, and 100% run energy restore if you drink the tea they offer you. You should be level 12 construction by the end of it, which is exactly the requirement we need to build the 3 beginner stash units in Varrock and Lumbridge for an extra 150 construction experience each. Then return to Amy to get another contract. If you're lucky enough that it's also in Falador, do that as well. Otherwise, or then deposit all of your gear and inventory, including your cat, to do the Recruitment Drive quest. Head into the park and talk to Sir Tiffy, who's sitting on the bench by the entrance, to do Recruitment Drive. Note that each person has to do a random order of 5 out of 7 puzzle rooms, but the only one that's the same is the fight with Surly, which is where you have to beat him to death as a woman with nothing on you besides prayer. He's got a max hit of 3 and health of 20, and it shouldn't be too hard, but since we have 1 defense, it might be a little scary. If you think you're actually in danger of dying because this is a hardcore death, you can leave by heading through the portal nearby. Finishing Recruitment Drive earns you 1 quest point, 1000 prayer, agility, and herblore XP. It's level 15 prayer, 33 agility, and 10 herblore, which means we can now do the dig site quest, as well as an initiate salad, which is equal to a mithril full helm, but has an extra +3 prayer. And you have the option of setting your respawn point in Falador, which I choose not to right now, but in the future, since we'll eventually get a Jade Ring enchanted into a Ring of Returning, which can send you back to your respawn point, it might make more sense to use that in Falador instead of Lumbridge, because the home teleport will always go to Lumbridge. On the standard spellbook, that is. Now minigame teleport to Last Man Standing, restore your run energy as usual, then bank and pull out a candle, 3 wines, 4 cakes, and it shouldn't happen, but in case of emergency, if you fall down a hole and your candle goes out, your chronicle, tinderbox, and an axe. Now home teleport to Lumbridge and head down into the basement. Go through the rubble hole and head towards the tunnel. Now, to get through the tunnels, you'll want to move by clicking your minimap because it will auto-path you through the tunnels safely. Otherwise, if you want, you could carefully follow the route manually by looking at the map online. If you do take the wrong path, you'll fall down a hole and your candle will go out, at which point immediately chronicle to the Champions Guild because you'll start taking continuous damage, then take the canoe system back to Lumbridge to redo it. At the end of the path, talk to Mistag and do your goblin emotes, and then he can fast travel you back to the cellar. Go upstairs and talk to the Duke, then pickpocket Sigmund for his key before going to his room to the south to loot his chest for some ham robes. Now go upstairs to the bank. At the bank, make sure you have out your cat and piece of food for it. Keep the ham clothing you just got and wear it, as well as 6 to 8 cakes. Then head out of the castle northwest toward the exclamation mark in the forest shack, picklock the trapdoor with a ham on it to climb down into the ham hideout to satisfy a Lumbridge easy diary task. Search the crate nearby to find the stolen silverware for the Lost Tribe, but before leaving, go southeast to the center of the lair because we're going to pickpocket female members because they have a higher success rate as they only require level 15 thieving versus 20. Now as an aside, ham members are a great source for a ton of helpful items, A non-exhaustive list includes a steel pickaxe, which will be the best one we have for some time, another steel axe just to have a spare, at least one cowhide, which we'll need to tan into hard leather later on for animal magnetism, as well as some buttons which we'll need to polish for animal magnetism, an uncut opal, which is used for the dig site quest, though we can get one pretty easily during the quest itself, as well as uncut jades, which will be turned into necklaces of passage later on, providing us a handy teleport to the desert and then the wizard's tower like I mentioned a bit ago. And specifically, we need a rusty sword, which we'll trade into Tyndall Marchant and Port Khazard for the Ardoin Easy Diary. And we'll want 3 because there is a small chance for the process to fail and you wouldn't want to have to come back just for that. Easy clue scrolls are another fun thing to get, and I actually did get one the first time we were here. I believe they're a 1 in 50 chance. And ham clothing, like I mentioned before. We'll need 2 full sets for Death to the Dorgeshuun, which is the quest after the Lost Tribe, but once you actually start that quest, the drop rate increases dramatically. And remember that every single piece of hand clothing you wear will reduce the chance that you get thrown out. Once you're done, either home teleport or run back to Lumbridge, head back up to the Duke and show him the stolen silverware to get the signed peace treaty. Bank upstairs, then have out the peace treaty, a candle, as well as your tinderbox, just as a precaution in case your candle goes out. Head back down into the cellar cave. Quick travel using Khazgar, then talk to Mistag to turn the Lost Tribe, getting 1 quest point, 3000 mining XP, should be around level 24, a Ring of Life, which if you wear and you get knocked down below 10% of your health, it will automatically teleport you to Lumbridge. However, if something does more than 10% of your health and brings you to 0, it will not teleport you and you'll die. Also, the ability to purchase and use bone weapons, specifically the Dorgeshuun crossbow, which will be our main weapon for training for quite some time. However, you need level 28 range to do it, so we won't actually be purchasing it until we finish Shadow of the Storm. After you turn in the quest, then you'll pop back up in the castle, so quick travel back through the cellar, then talk to Mistag again to start Death of the Dorgeshuun, then quick travel back to the cellar, and bank to have out your coins, the key imprint you got from Lady Kelly for Prince Ali Rescue, a bronze bar, and your best pickaxe. Now head east out of the castle to Alfred, but this time after going through the gates, go northeast to the mine 1 iron ore for the easy diary task, but then fill your inventory with silver ore except for 6 spaces, which we'll fill with gems in a moment. We want the silver ore because we're going to use that to make silver bars for the Giant Dwarf, as well as for silver jewelry later on. Related, now go back southwest to the gem stall where we've gone before and purchase 3 uncut sapphires and 3 uncut emeralds. The 3 sapphires will be used for the Giant Dwarf this time, but normally they'll be used for rings of recoil. And the 3 uncut emeralds will be used to make dueling rings later on. Because after we purchase cosmic runes, but long before we get graceful, we can regularly teleport to the Ferox Enclave to use the Pool of Restoration and as a quick place to bank. After getting your gems, which you will have to world hop for, smelt the silver ore at the furnace and then go southeast to Osman outside of the palace grounds. Give him the key imprint and bronze bar you got, and then later on we can pick up the key from Leela. Then head southwest to the bank to deposit your bars and gems to relieve some weight, and to pull out your fishing net. Go south to the fishing spot and fish some anchovies for another easy diary task, then head southeast to the Shantae Pass and purchase a feather pack, 10 more jugs of water, 3 more empty water skins, and 15 bronze bars for the Giant Dwarf quest. Once you get those, bank again and have out your coins, your Barcrawl card, a bird snare, and an axe and knife to do a little fletching while we wait for birds to snare. I'm sure you figured it out since we're at the Shanty Pass, but take the fast travel to Port Sarim, purchase 10 to 15 sardines from the fishing shop, and if you need strike runes, go north to the rune shop and get some. Then go to the bar on the north side and talk to the bartender to cross that bar off your Barcrawl card. Then go south out of the bar to the docks and talk to Veos to have him sail you to Great Kourend. Then you can right-click Sail to Land's End to satisfy a Kourend and Kebos easy diary task. Then from here, go northeast to where the hunter icon is on the map, then set up your bird snare to catch 10 of the copper longtails to get to level 12 hunter so we can do the Ascent of Arceus at the same time as the Queen of Thieves. And, although you don't see me do it here, because I added it in later, realizing it took longer to catch the 10 birds than I thought it would be to cut and fletch logs into unstrung longbows for 10 XP each while you wait for the birds to snare. So it's possible you'll be a level higher in woodcutting and perhaps 1 or 2 more levels in fletching, so I might have to catch up off route a bit to make sure I'm on track with everybody else. Once you're level 12 hunter, go to the westernmost building in Land's End and take a butterfly net from the northeast crate. You'll figure it out. Then go behind the building to pick 2 inventories of flax to later spin into bowstrings. I'll touch on why you need 2 inventories in a moment. When you visit the bank for the first time, go to the southwestern crate and pick up 5 extra bird snares using the drop trick, because you'll be able to use multiple in the future, and in case you ever need to drop one for some reason, you'll have spares in the bank. During your flax trips, make sure you get at least 9 red berries, including anything you might have in the bank. 1 for Prince Ali Rescue, 1 for Hand in the Sand, at least 1 to make a red berry pie for the Giant Dwarf, but if it burns, of course you'll need another, 3 if you need to make the second dye for Ahoy because you didn't have enough when in Draynor earlier, and a lower priority, but we will need another red dye for Enlightened Journey in the future, same with a yellow dye, but they weren't included in the first dye run because we'll have multiple chances to get red berries and onions, and we'll be in Draynor many times before doing that quest. So, the reason we're getting 2 inventories of Flax is because I mentioned several times by now that we need level 30 crafting to be able to use the Ardor and Easy Diary lamp, since the lamp can't be banked, and the herb lore won't be 30 for some time. So, we'll get about 12,700 crafting experience from quests and other rewards, but that doesn't include things like cutting gems, crafting bowls, etc. So you could probably do that to get the last 660 XP we needed, which is equal to 45 bowstrings. But for the sake of not everybody having the same amount of gems, we're doing it this way so that anybody who's following the route will be on track. But if you want to craft your gems earlier, you can do it now, but I think you'll still be a bit short of that 660. Once all that's done, go to the bank and grab coins, your feather, and of course your kitten and some food for it, then head back to the docks and sail to Port Piscarilius. Talk to Veos on the docks and start the Client of Kourend quest. Use your feather on the scroll he gives you to make an enchanted quill. Now you have to run to every general store in each city across Kourend. So, for starters, run north to Port Piscarilius and talk to the general store owner there to continue the quest. Then either go northwest or southwest to get to Arceus, and do the same. Then run far south to Hesidius and do the same. If your Mahogany Homes client happens to be there, do that to get the level 12 construction, get another client before you leave, and make sure you get that nice 100% run energy restore in the form of the tea. Then bank your supplies before moving on. And then head far west to Shazian and visit the bar there to purchase 6 beers, 2 for Forgettable Tale, we'll get the 3rd one right before we need it during the quest, 3 for Prince Ollie Rescue, and 1 for the Fremenic Trials. Note that you won't see them in my inventory because I decided to add them in later, because you can bulk buy from the shop as it has an active stock instead of having to go through 3 boxes of dialogue to buy each one at a time. What's cool is you can also buy Lizard Kicker from the bar here, which eventually once we come back to the Shazian area to do the diary task and to get some favor, we'll buy some of this Lizard Kicker because it boosts range by 4, which will be great for a little early range training, or when we're forced to use range during a boss fight. Then continue northwest to go to the general store under there, then go next door to the clothing shop to pick up the orange dye for Ahoy and a black wizard's hat for Shout of the Storm, if imps haven't dropped one by now, and if you didn't buy one from Betty in Port Sarim. Then run far northeast to Lovakenge and talk to that general store owner, then finally head southeast to Kourend Center. And I think we're gonna call it there. Coming up next, we're going to steal 100 or more cakes in Kourend before filling upon some silk, getting some diary tasks done, as well as 3 or 4 quests around Zeah. Thanks again for joining, everybody. See you next time.